What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Sneaky Sneaks, and I'm back with another video. Happy Sunday to everybody out there. I hope y'all having a good one. All right, it's a Sunday before Christmas, and in today's video, I'm going to give you guys my pickups of 2025. We're going to just jump right into it. All right. This is going to be in no particular order. It was very hard to rank these sneakers, so no particular order. However, my last three sneakers that I show are my top three favorite sneakers of this year. But first, I got the Air Foamposite 1 Copper. These came out in 2024, around the end of last year, and I got these for a pretty good deal. I was just waiting for them to go on sale, and I got these for way under retail. One of my favorite colorways in the Foamposites. Just a fire sneaker in my opinion. Glad to have these in my collection. Air Foamposite 1 Coppers. All right. Up next, I got the Nike Air Tech Challenge 2, I believe. The Andre Agassi's and that racer paint. Very classic shoe, classic silhouette. I got these for a steal as well. I think I got these for like $79. You can't beat that, man. Just a really nice shoe. The quality is A1. Very happy to have these in my collection. Just a fire shoe, man. This is an OG colorway. It was a women's colorway back in the day, a women's exclusive, and this time around they retroed in men's sizes. But just a fire colorway, man. The Nike Air Tech Challenge 2. All right, moving along. We got the Air Jordan 1 Black Toe Reimagined. Another shoe that I got on sale, way under retail. Very classic model. I love this colorway. And I was just waiting for these to go on sale, man. They've been sitting all year, sitting online, sitting in stores. So I just figured I'd wait till the price go down, and I got these for a pretty good deal. Classic shoe. Air Jordan 1 Black Toe Reimagined. You can't go wrong, man. All right, moving along. I'm gonna try to make this as quick as possible, y'all. Let me see what I want to grab next. All right, up next, I got the Nike Air Diamond Turf in that emerald colorway. This is an OG colorway. I couldn't wait for these to come out, man. Very excited for these. Just a classic shoe, classic silhouette. These first came out back in 1993, and I believe they retro at least 2 or 3 times. I think they first retro back in 2010, I want to say, and again in 2017. And I believe this is the 3rd retro of this shoe, this colorway. Just a classic shoe. I'm a big fan of Deion Sanders, my favorite football player of all time. And this is just a fire colorway. Not sure where they got this colorway from. There weren't any teams that he played for that, had this color, but it's a dope colorway. The Nike Air Diamond Turf Emerald. All right, up next, we got the Air Jordan 10 OG Steel Gray. Very happy to have these in my collection, man. I'm glad that they brought these back out. These last retro back in 2013. And this is my favorite 10. This is my favorite Jordan 10 colorway. Just a fire shoe. These were super limited when they came out this year. And I'm just happy I was able to grab my pair. I passed up on the Shadow 10s. You know, it's a dope shoe, but I just didn't have to have it. There were so many shoes coming out this year, man, and I was just trying to be selective. So at least I got my favorite 10. And that's all that matters. Just a classic silhouette. You can see MJ's accolades at the bottom with that powder blue Jumpman. Just a dope shoe, man. These first retro back in, I want to say, actually, I can't remember any other retro except for 2013. They might have retro before that, I'm not sure, but we didn't get too many retros of this shoe. But just happy to have these in the collection. And classic shoe, one of my favorite pickups of the year, the Air Jordan 10 Steels. All right, up next, we got the Nike Air Diamond Turf in that orchid, purple orchid colorway. Another OG colorway, and just a fire shoe. A lot of people, you know, get these confused with the Ravens, but it has nothing to do with the Ravens. This shoe and this colorway came out back in 1993. The Ravens weren't established until 1996, I think. 1996, I believe. But they didn't exist when this shoe came out. But just another dope shoe. You can catch Martin rocking these on that episode when he was in the aerobics class or whatever. You can catch Martin rocking these back in the day. Just a fire shoe. And that was a very funny episode, man, with him rocking these. And, you know, he was, I guess he was the instructor. And he had these on. Just a classic shoe, man. Martin, classic show. And that was a very funny episode, man. But I'm very happy to have these. Just a dope shoe. I love that black and that purple with that hit of gold. Just fire, in my opinion. The Nike Air Diamond Turf OG Orchid. All right, what we got next? All right, up next, we got the Air Jordan 5, Fire Red, Black Tongue. Another classic shoe. And I gotta say, the quality on this retro is amazing. I'm just loving the shape on these Jordan 5s. And this is just a dope shoe. This is one of my favorite Air Jordan 5s. I'm not sure like which one I like better out of the Fire Red Black Tongue or the Fire Red Silver Tongue. I mean, they're both classic shoes, but I think I might give the slight edge to the Silver Tongue. For some reason, I kind of like that a little better. But, you know, I like these too. And I'm glad I was able to pick these up. You know, this was a very easy cop. They sat for a long time. You know, a lot of these shoes sat for a long time this year, man. Anybody that's in the sneaker game and, you know, you like sneakers, you know, it wasn't hard to get what you want, man. I mean, I'm pretty sure everybody was able to get what they wanted because everything was just sitting, man. You know, people not buying shoes like they used to. But just a classic shoe, classic model, and just one of my favorites. I had to add them to the collection. The Air Jordan 5, Fire Red Black Tongues. All right. Up next, what we got next? I'm gonna go with the Air Jordan 12 Taxis. like I said, another classic. Pretty much all my pickups are, OGs from back in the day. And this was one that I had to have. Just one of my favorite 12s. And I'm glad that they brought these back out. We finally got the Taxi 12s. No royalties, no taxi flips. We finally got the real deal right here. The materials on these are not bad. I think it's a good retro. Just clean, man. Classic colorway. And every time I talk about this shoe, I gotta mention that commercial with Michael Jordan, the Frozen Moment. Very classic commercial. One of my favorite Nike commercials of all time. If you haven't seen that commercial yet, go ahead and look it up. Those of you who are, a little bit younger, that commercial, man, is just a dope commercial for real. But yeah, one of my favorite Air Jordan 12s. These come second to the Cherry 12s. The Cherry 12s is my favorite, but very happy to have these. The Air Jordan 12 OG Taxis. All right, I'm almost done. What else? Up next, I got the Air Jordan 5 Grapes. Now these, definitely one of my most anticipated releases of this year. I was very excited for these coming back out. These are one of my favorite Air Jordan 5 colorways. I just love that purple and that teal. It reminds you of the Charlotte Hornets. Just a fire shoe. Me and my wife grabbed these. She wanted a pair of these as well. And we did a video. That video that I did with my wife with these shoes, that's actually my best video that we put up this year. We got a lot of feedback, got a lot of love. But yeah, this is a dope shoe, classic. I'm glad they brought these back. Glad Nike brought these back. You can't go wrong. Will Smith rocked these bad boys in the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Just a classic shoe. What else can I say? I'm glad to have these, the Air Jordan 5 Grapes. All right, I think I'm down. I'm, winding this down. Let me see what I want to grab next. You see, I got 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Up next, I got the Nike Air Trainer Huarache. Now these right here, this shoe right here has got to be one of the best releases this year. Another classic model. Just a fire shoe. Bo Jackson and Deion Sanders, they endorse this model right here. You can see both of them in commercials endorsing this shoe. But I would say that this is more of a Bo Jackson sneaker because of the colors. It's got that cool blue color. And these first retro they first debuted back in 1992. And the first retro was back in 2002. And I had the first retro, and it was not this color right here. It was actually a gray, like a light gray right here. And back here. But supposedly this is the OG color with the cool blue. But very classic shoe. Glad to have these in my collection. It's been a while since I had these. The only time I ever had these was back in 2002 when they first retro. But they're very comfortable. I'm just really digging these, man. Classic shoe. the Nike Air Trainer Huarache in that OG colorway, that cool blue. All right, let's see what I got next for y'all. I think I'm winding down. Trying to make sure I picked up everything. Let me see. All right. The Nike Air Jordan 4 white cements. Now these, one of my favorite pickups of the year, hands down, one of the best releases of the year. This shoe is so iconic. And I'm just glad that they brought these back out. I'm glad Nike brought these back out. Very classic shoe, classic colorway. You can catch, you know, a lot of celebrities rocking these back in the day. In the movie Do the Right Thing, your boy Bugging Out, I forgot the actor's name, but the character, he played the character Bugging Out, and he wore these and got them scuffed up and just went crazy. Very funny. That was a funny scene in the movie. Classic scene, iconic scene. Something that you would never forget if you grew up in that era. But a lot of legends who played in that movie. Of course, Spike Lee, who starred and directed the movie. Martin Lawrence. Who else? Rosie Perez. Just a lot of you know, a lot of actors, famous actors who played a part in that movie. But this is just an iconic shoe. And one of my favorite releases of the year. One of my favorite Air Jordans of all time. And I would have to say this is my second favorite colorway in the Air Jordan 4. My favorite Air Jordan 4 colorway is the black cements or the breads, whatever you want to call them. And they're coming back out next year, so I'm excited for those. But yeah, man, the Air Jordan 4 white cement. All right. I think I'm down to my last two shoes, y'all. All right. The Nike Air Diamond Turf in that OG Atlanta Falcons colorway. Man, I am so happy that Nike brought these back out. This right here, this is my favorite Dion sneaker of all time. It don't matter what model, what color. This right here, this is the one right here. This is my favorite Dion of all time. Like this colorway just pops like crazy. Just that white, black, and red and gold. It pops, man. Another one of my favorite commercials was with Deion Sanders rocking these. He was playing baseball with some kids, and he was killing them. You know, one of the kids got frustrated with him. It was like, "Mister, don't you got a football game to go to?" I just thought that was so funny, man, because he was killing them, man. But yeah, this is a classic shoe, classic colorway, and the 90s, just to me, one of the best eras of sneakers, if not the best. I call it the golden era of sneakers because it was so much that came out in that era. You know, you had the Bruce Smiths, you had the Junior Seau's, the Barry Sanders. But this right here, one of the best cross-training shoes ever. And I'm glad to have these in the collection. The Nike Air Diamond Turf, OG Atlanta Falcons. All right, I'm down to my last shoe. And this is my favorite pickup of 2025. And that is the Black Metallic 5 Reimagine with them white laces. You got that bright reflective silver tongue. This is my favorite Jordan 5 of all time. I'm glad to finally have these in my collection. I've always wanted this shoe. I was never able to get it. Every time they came out, something just always came up to where I couldn't get them. So this time around, I made sure I was able to get them. Just a classic shoe, classic model. I think I'm going to switch to the black laces soon. I'm not sure. I'm still, digging these white laces. So I'm not sure when I'll change to the black. But I'll, swap them out soon. But just a nice shoe. One of my favorite Air Jordan sneakers. But yeah, this is my favorite 5. Glad to have these in my collection. And that wraps up my video. I want to thank you guys for watching. I want to thank you guys who supported me throughout this year. The channel has really grown, and I just want to say thank you to each and every viewer, subscriber. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. And I hope you guys have a Merry Christmas. Have a Happy New Year. Appreciate y'all. And please hit the like button if you enjoyed the content. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And stay tuned for more videos. We got more videos on the way. Until next time, y'all be blessed. Peace.